What up, y'all? Still Real Ball Watcher. Grab your binoculars and we back again, man. And I'm ready to say I told you so. We're going to give it one more week. Bryce Young, ball out. Let's get into it. Also, before we even start, I do have a college eval coming out this week, maybe Thursday or Friday. Make sure y'all go watch that because that is the bread and butter of this channel. We're not switching up. It's not just a Panthers or Bryce Young channel. We're here for college evals also, so make sure you go watch that for me. Now, let's get into it. Now, this video is mainly going to be about one. Dave Canales called a really good game. We already know Bryce Young is a hooper. We already know he's carrying, but we can't make the same mistakes we made with Cam Newton. And this is what we're looking at in this first play. What you're going to have, I'm going to say it's like 2nd and 5. You have interior pressure. Bryce Young lets it go. Back shoulder, first off, that's the problem with this DB. I mean, this wide or tight end, I should say. It's back shoulder, so he should kind of already be there a little bit. Or he should turn his body a little bit more to make the catch. But he simply drops it when it's in his hands. Before the safety gets there, excellent placement. It's going to be a lot of this in this video. A lot of his guys letting him down. Because honestly, in this game, frankly, in this game, Bryce did everything he could. When it was running the ball, throwing the ball, extending plays, throwing it with anticipation, he did everything he could. His defense let him down. His kicker let him down. And the running back let him down at the end of the game. So, but let's get into the next play. Now, 2 callbacks right here. Remember a couple weeks ago I said something, or yeah, a couple weeks, I think it was last week actually, where I said Jonathan Brooks needs to be getting all the touches when it comes to the receiving game. He needs to be in on all passing downs. This is a prime example. But I also talked about how scheming up deep shots and then dumping it down will work out a lot more. Both of these things were proven right on this play. What we're going to have is we're going to have a 2-man route concept, basically. We're going to put Devin Tompkins in motion. We're going to do a zone read almost, or zone read look with Tommy Trimble, who also comes in motion, a block back on the defensive end, even though he misses his block. And we're going to zone block the offensive line. You know, there's interior pressure immediately, but we'll get that in a second. We're going to have a big over, or not a big over, a big dig from Adam Thielen, and we're going to have a out and up or a go from Xavier Leggett, and it was interior pressure immediately. So what does Bryce do? He drops the guy first off, wham, makes him fall, and then just dumps it off to who else but Jonathan Brooks, who goes ballistic. I mean, shakes a guy, breaks another tackle, runs into his defender, still able to, you know, you get a 20-yard gain out of just flipping it to a guy who was already covered because the DB immediately was there. So it's not like, oh, he was wide open. The DB was already covered. He just had a little bit of depth because of the route concept, but he was already on his assignment. Having a guy with this home run speed and slippery ability, like I told y'all in the offseason, pays out in the passing game. I think I might as well pull up the clip from the offseason with video with Jatavian Sanders and him. Maybe I won't, but as you can see, it's working out like I thought it would. I need him to get more touches, but we'll get into that later. But great call, great concept, great play by your quarterback and your running back to really make an explosive play out of nothing, because this should have been a sack, honestly. But that extendability of Bryce Young, even though he's a midget and weak apparently compared to, according to y'all, was able to get it out of there. So let's move on to the next play. If I sound a little hoarse, it's because, you know, I was screaming yesterday. We all saw the game. We saw how it went. But I love this look right here. We're going to have a three guys in the backfield. Basically, we're going to put Devin Tompkins in. He's going to be in motion. He's going to go almost like a wheel route out of the backfield. Great RPO concept from Canales. So what you're going to have is you're going to have that motion into a wheel from Devin Tompkins. You're going to have Tommy Trimble come across, who can either block or get out into the flat. Read option with your boy Bryce Young and Chuba Hubbard. He could pull this and run it if you want, or he could just throw it to the straight. I don't even know what you would call this because it's not a slant, but almost a seam ball to Xavier Leggett, as you've seen. And this is just the processing that was advertised when he came out. You know, he's able to get through this read extremely quickly, doesn't even get it to the threshold for a read option, you know, to pull it. He immediately just yanks and throws the ball. Great concept using that pre-snap motion. I'm glad we're starting to see somebody, one of our offensive coordinators or whoever is designing these plays, whether it's Canales or Itzik. I'm glad we're starting to see. Last year we were begging for more motion, you know, getting guys on movement, getting guys a head start. We're starting to see that with Devin Tompkins. It's going to be super scary if we can actually get a weapon that's super fast. It has a lot of yak to be in that position, because that's really going to threaten the defense. But overall, good play, great processing. Not much to say. Kudos to Canales for calling this play and having this drawn up. Moving on to the next play. Next play, Superman is back. We talked about it all last week. The reason that he's carrying this offense is for this exact reason. But he's being let down by his weapons, bro. We got to learn from our mistakes from Cam Newton because look at this. Matter of fact, let me get this out of the way. This was a high-stakes game, but a low-key high-stakes game. The Panthers are still not eliminated from the playoffs, but they for sure were not eliminated from the playoffs yet. So a win over a divisional opponent after the rest of your division lost this week would have moved us 2 games behind first place. And we play the Falcons once more. We also play the Bucs once more to give some more division L's. And the Falcons have 2 hard games coming up. They just lost this week to the Chargers. I want to say they play another 2 hard games. I can't think of who they play off the top of my head. So we're not even in super high stakes moments, and guys are letting our QB down. Let's look at this. Far hash throws it way before he's out of his break. You know, I'm going to pull up the screenshot so y'all can see. Let me go ahead and pull it up. But he dropped it. But let me go ahead and pull it up so y'all can see the screenshot. This is my area to do that. But back to the play. Throwing the ball way before the guy's there. Far hash. Crazy touch on the ball. And it's right through David Moore's hands on the sideline. On a 3rd and long. Or no, was this a 2nd and long? Y'all want to say this is 2nd and long. Like I said last week. Getting these 2nd and longs. Getting drops or penalties. And he has to bail us out on 3rd down because we know what the next play is coming up is if you watch the game. But this is why we need more talent. If we're doing this in these low stakes, quote unquote low stakes, but also high stakes games, imagine when we get into the playoffs and we're playing teams like the Eagles, playing teams like the Rams, 49ers, and their talent is just as good as ours. Or everybody's talent is better than ours. But these are immensely talented teams in these high pressure situations. It's only going to get worse. If they're not showing up in these small moments, they're not going to show up when the lights get bright. It's time to look ahead. It's no more, oh my God, the Panthers are so bad, the Panthers are so bad. It's time to look ahead because the wins are coming soon. So we need to prepare for that. So that's why we're arguing. A lot of people are arguing so much, get these guys weapons. But let's move on to the next play. Next play, superpower on display. I talked about it last week, how his extendability hasn't shown up as much as his anticipation and processing has. It was there this week. So, I mean, we're going to have, I don't even have to draw the play. Let's just let it run. Blitz, immediate interior pressure, and pressure from the outside. He's able to get out, throws it before Tommy Tremble even gets upfield. I want to point that out. And just creates an explosive play. You know, not panicking, throwing off his back foot, both feet in the air. Once again, talking about that arm strength. On the money. And we're able to create an explosive play out of it. Thank God for Tommy Tremble showing up this game. I'm going to give him kudos because, you know, a lot of guys don't show up for our boy Bryce. But Tommy Tremble showed up in the absence of J.C. Sanders after he didn't have that good of a game once he went down last week. But, yeah, I mean, bro, we talked about it last week. Guys putting us in bad situations, whether it's penalties or drops, to be in 2nd and long. And Bryce is simply bailing us out because there's nobody else open on this play. It's nowhere to go with the ball. So he had to extend it regardless. You can't throw it shorter to sticks. That's why he didn't throw it immediately to Tommy Tremble. And you got an explosive play out of it. 2 explosive plays have been because of Bryce Young's extendability in his plays with his legs and arm, by the way. So let's move on to the next play. Now, this next play is a tad bit nuanced. I've been praising Bryce for using his legs, his extendability in this game, and that superpower from Alabama showing up a lot more. But there was a couple open guys on this play, and I kind of want to know his thought process. I wish I was in a QB meeting so I could understand his thought process on this goal line. Eventually, we end up getting 6 out of this. But it's interesting because you got 2 big turndowns here. And I'm going to try to, you know, emulate what he would be thinking. But 2 big turndowns here that probably would have been touchdowns. And that we have seen him throw 1 in this game and 2 in the previous 4 weeks. So, or 5 weeks. So we're going to have empty set, Chuba on a go just to clear out. You're going to have that infamous or famous slant route from Xavier Lee. Ran it great, got open, was there for the touchdown. You're going to have an out and up seam route from David Moore. You're going to have a pivot route from Adam Thielen and then a clear from Tommy Tremble on the outside. So we're working the middle of this field regardless, which Bryce is great at. Kill all the can't see over the line narratives. But I'm probably going to slow this down for y'all because he had one Xavier Liggett right out of his break immediately. I know the safety is cheating over, but immediately he has Xavier Liggett out of his break to throw a touchdown strike. He did it against Denver with a better corner on him, a much bigger corner also. Xavier Liga has the size advantage. But not only that, if you look at the other side of the field, David Moore is open on that out and up. Once that safety commits, Bryce moves his eyes over there. Not sure if he's looking at Thielen or Moore, but he's open, which he threw a similar pass literally in this game to Adam Thielen. That was called a drop, even though it wasn't. So either of those plays, he could have threw it to him. But eventually he did extend the play. He's able to go get a touchdown. So can't complain too much. We got points. But it's interesting to see. I want to know why he turned it down. What I'm assuming is that pivot route was most likely his second option. I think he's seen Liga, who was open, by the way, but he probably just didn't like the passing window. He is a shorter guy, so he probably didn't like the passing window. That's kind of why he shuffled over. Once he shuffled over, the window isn't there anymore. The safety's there. But that out and up is open. His eyes go to the out and up, and there's time. But I guess, or maybe it doesn't go to the out and up. Maybe it goes to the pivot to Thielen, which Levante David covered, and then he decided to take off. So maybe that's what it is. But it was interesting. It was interesting to see that. I just wanted to break that down so y'all go through my thought process whenever I'm, going through this film and trying to understand things. Because it's obvious that Xavier Liga is the first read. I'm pretty sure now that I'm looking at this as I'm going through it, he did not throw the ball because he did not like the passing window. Damian Lewis was kind of getting pushed into his eyesight or his eye view, which means the defensive tackle would have got his hands up. Talked about it a lot in past videos and on Twitter. QBs don't throw over the D-line. They throw in between in the windows. So that's probably why he turned that down. And then I think the pivot route was his next look, and it was covered. So he just decided we're going to take off. But even when he took off, Xavier Liga is still also open in the back of the end zone. But whatever, we got 6. So, sorry, I just had to go through that and kind of figure out what was going on while we got those 2 turn downs. But we got 6 regardless. Bryce Young is using his legs, squabbling up after, you feel me? Squabble up. But he's hooping, man. What can we say? So, let's move on to the next play. We can't create or we can't repeat the same mistakes we made with Cam Newton. That's the theme of this video. That and Canales hooping. We're going to have a simply an all-out blitz, cover 1 look. So we're going to blitz the linebacker, blitz 2 linebackers, I want to say. Yeah, Levante Davis also coming there. They're going to be in cover 1. So you just need guys to win. David Moore, I can give David Moore this credit. That boy gets open. He reminds me of DJ Chark last year, where Bryce Young trusts him. He's giving him chances, and he make plays here and there. But he also has a lot of big drops in the plays that he doesn't make. Now, he's much more explosive and more juiced up than DJ Chark. I think that's the difference. But I think he is a good contributor to this team. But he should not be your wide receiver 2 or 3, which he has been these past couple weeks since Bryce got back. So, he should be more your 4 or 5. He should be what we're using him as now. Emergency circumstances, injuries, or in Deontay Johnson's case, a trade. He comes and he's able to produce. Outside of that, he's no more than that. But just a big drop from here. You have Vita Vea bearing down. Not even just Vita Vea. You have a linebacker and another defensive tackle bearing down on Bryce Young. Somebody who's super short, shouldn't be able to see over the middle. Can't stand in the pocket and throw when it gets muddy. He stood there, ate a shot from Vita Vea, and delivered a strike directly to David Moore's chest. And it just bounced off his chest. What was this? Was this 3rd and long? No, this is 1st down, so I can give him that. It is 1st down. But, dang, dog. What can I say, bro? We need to get some more weapons. I see somebody tweet, Bryce Young is going to need more help and more weapons until his highlight throws don't include drops. And I agree with that. And this is one of those highlight throws. This is a big-time throw. This is an elite throw, might I add. Especially with the pressure that's been getting. I mean, his damn near whole offensive line lost, kind of looking like last year. But I give him a break. It was a blitz. But he stood in there and delivered a strike. Yeah, man, there's not much to say about this play. They robbed us of a touchdown. This is kind of my prime example of when I was talking about that turn down, the rushing touchdown he got where he turned down 2 things. Now I'm saying he could have thrown that to David Moore. He did it later in the game. This is the play, of course, to Adam Thielen. But also, look at where he throws it. He throws it in between the tackle and the guard. That's what we mean by those passing lanes. He's not throwing over guys. He's throwing in between them. But, dude, the velocity on this, to fit it in between 3 defenders, it looks like, dog, it's nuts. Like, he's just hooping right now. He's playing at an elite level, and I want to shout out Adam Thielen for consistently coming up and making plays for him, which we'll get into later in this video. But the heat that he put on this ball, the placement he put on this ball, nuts. If Adam Thielen didn't slow down out of his route, he probably runs through this and catches it easier. But I'm not going to kill him for that, because I don't think he expected Bryce to put it through that window, and especially with that much heat on him. But man, what a play from both of these guys, because this should have counted. So moving on to the next play. Two reasons this play is on here. Dave Canales is designing these plays. He is cooking. What we're going to have is almost a trips with Tommy Tremble kind of being the wing option on this. And then you're going to have David Moore on the outside on his own. So you're going to have David Moore on a speed out. Chuba's going to be on a little flare out, dump down, check down route. Should be Jonathan Brooks, but whatever. Then you're going to have a sit route right in the middle of the field from Tommy Tremble, which is going to draw the defenders away from this slant behind him from Xavier Liga. And you're going to have Adam Thielen that kind of loops around, makes it look like a wheel, but it's more of a flat sit down route. Would have been interesting if he kind of turned that upfield, but play was over so fast it don't even matter. Let's run it. Once again, we're going to need wide receiver help for Bryce Young to really get to where he want to be. If he's throwing with 298 with these weapons, let me name these guys for you. David Moore. Matter of fact, let me look it up. So we got Xavier Liggett, David Moore, Devin Tompkins, Dan Chisnia, Felipe Franks, Adam Thielen, of course, and the tight end Tommy Tremble. If he's doing that with this sort of weapons, he's throwing for 260 against the Chiefs, 300 against the Bucks. We'll see what he does. We'll see what he does against the Eagles. Imagine if he had elite talent at wide receiver. This is what I mean. Until plays like this aren't on his tape, and this is from his first round rookie, one of the best receivers on our team. Until plays like this aren't on his tape, we're not going to see the full potential of Bryce Young in this offense. He could be an MVP waiting to be won, but he doesn't have guys to, pull this stuff down. Like I say, he threw for 298 with this. Imagine if he had what Joe Burrow got, Chase, T. Higgins. Imagine if he had what Mahomes has, D-Hop, Travis Kelce. Dang, what's bro name? The wide receiver, Xavier Worthy. Hollywood Brown coming back soon. Rashee Rice also on the roster. I'm just saying, look at what the Eagles got. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, the tight end, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley. Just imagine. We there with the running backs. We there with the offensive line. I think we got a good supporting group of receivers. We need that number one guy. But let's move on. I put this play on here because we ain't going to spend on too much time on this. It is nuts how a guy his stature has the arm talent and placement that he does. He's already racked up when he's throwing this ball. His feet are off the ground. For a guy who can't see over, and it's another defender in his face that kind of pulled up. Shout out to Elijah Kansey for pulling up and not hitting him. One, it would have been a flag. But two, he probably would have got hurt. But look at placement right there in Tommy Tremble's hands. Not blaming Tommy for this drop, even though an elite player, Jamar Chase, somebody like that, pulls this in. Travis Kelce pulls this in for his quarterback. But I'm not going to blame Tommy Tremble too much for this drop. I just wanted to point out, he's getting wrapped up and his feet are off the ground. He's going down when he makes this throw across his body. Literally, his arm and his shoulders are damn near touching when he's throwing this ball. And he's still able to get it there with a lot of velocity because it's tight coverage and right off the hands of Tommy Tremble. We got our guy, to say the least. But let's move on to some actual film review stuff. That was just crazy. Let's move on. The play that got everybody excited, you feel me? This should have been the game winner, but this is when the defense let him down. Interesting design. I'm not sure because let me talk about this play first. This was not supposed to be a crosser route to Thielen. Thielen changed this route whenever he realized the safeties rotated into cover 3. It looks like they're in originally a cover 4, so there's going to be one middle defender. That's why I think they ran 2 digs. But when Thielen seen, this is cover 3, he turned upfield. So this is what we got. We're going to have a go from Xavier Leggett. Dumb down to Chuba, should be Jonathan Brooks, whatever. You're going to have an out route from Tommy Tremble. He's going to wait until Thielen releases to go, so it's a little bit of friction there. Going to have a slot dig from Thielen, outside dig from David Moore. Almost like a levels concept. Not really, though. You kind of just, one window closes. If it's cover 4, there's one guy in the middle. Levante David picks one window. You throw it to the other. If you miss that window, Levante David's going to have to pick the other one. You throw it to that window. But as we run the play, great play by Bryce Young to identify the coverage. Great play by Adam Thielen to identify the coverage. As soon as this play runs, Adam Thielen before he even gets to his break, he sees, oh, this safety rotated down. He gets into his break. Oh, Levante David is biting, or not Levante David, somebody else. I can't remember this linebacker's name. He's biting. Boom, I'm going to cut it upfield and throw up the mailbox immediately. What does Bryce Young see? Bryce Young gets into his drop. Oh, shoot. Did that safety just rotate to the middle of the field? Looks at Adam Thielen just to see where he is. That makes the linebacker bite down. I'll slow down all this so y'all can see. Steps up in the pocket. Makes a throw. Celebrates before it even gets there on the run. Should have been the game. Should have been the game. But shout out to these two. This is what I mean when I say elite talent. By no means is Adam Thielen an elite wide receiver. I still think he's one of the best slot receivers in the game. But just based off his IQ, his fundamentals, and his route running, things like that, and his hands. But by no means is he an elite player. If Adam Thielen has the chemistry and the playmaking ability to do this, imagine if we have Adam Thielen and an elite player to bail or to be on the same page with Bryce. We'll get into bailing guys out later. But shout out to Adam Thielen for showing up to this game. Shout out to Bryce Young for seeing this coverage, for both of them seeing this coverage. Because this is not what the play is. Seeing that coverage, throwing that ball, making that catch, making that adjustment by Adam Thielen. Remember last year when I was talking about nobody knows how to get open on scramble drills except for Adam Thielen? This is what we mean. He got open on that scramble drill. He knows what Bryce wants. He sees what the coverage is. Bryce sees what the coverage is. Go make a play. Go win the game, or what should have been a win. But let's move on. Last play, and I'm going to get my round out over this too. Make your QB right when he's wrong. Bryce Young has not been wrong most of this game. But Adam Thielen comes up and makes a play. Just like last week, we're going to have an all-out blitz. Adam Thielen is going to be in the slot, running an out route against a guy with off coverage. Bryce Young's going to throw with anticipation to get it there. Bryce Young threw an inaccurate pass. I got to admit that. But Adam Thielen adjusts with one hand, his offhand. I don't know if Adam Thielen's left-handed. Most people aren't. But with his offhand, make a contested almost, because the DB got there because it was so far inside and it was inaccurate, to do a 360 offhand, left-handed diving catch. Make your quarterback right when he's wrong. First off, let me show the screenshot. Let me show y'all this anticipation. Bryce Young has his hand off the ball. He's loading up the throw. Look where Adam Thielen is. Look where everybody is. Who's open? Nobody. Simple as that. But let's move on back to my rant. We need guys like Adam Thielen, bro. Whenever our quarterback is wrong, he can't be wrong. That's been the issue a lot. Now, he has not been wrong these past 4 or 5 weeks since coming back. That's the great part. That's why he's so elite right now. That's why he's our franchise quarterback. As Dave Canales and Adam Schefter and a lot of guys have been saying, coming out right before this game started. But when he is wrong, you need guys that are still able to bail him out instead of guys that are letting him down. We need more guys like Adam Thielen. Or actually, better than Adam Thielen. Because Adam Thielen, he was on fire this game. Don't know his exact stats. I know he had at least 5-6 catches. And big-time catches, too. As we can see, 2 clutch catches. Really should have been 3 clutch catches because of that touchdown in the red zone. But, dog, you need guys that are going to make your quarterback right when he is wrong. Because this dude is barely wrong. So if we're making him right when he is wrong, we're going to have a perfect offense. That offense is going to be churning. This is before we even get to the run game. So, can't make the same mistakes we made with Cam Newton. It's time to go build around this guy. We got the offensive line. We got the running game. Go get one weapon. If you don't want to go get an elite receiver, tech, or go pay a T. Higgins and hope he breaks out as a number one wide receiver, I get it. At least get him a speed threat and a yak threat. Get 2 guys late in the draft, second, third round, and then another one later in the draft that are going to provide speed, rely, and yak. Simple as that. At least do that for your quarterback, because he has it. He just need guys to show up for him when he's showing up. And even with them not showing up, he's overcoming it. So don't make the same mistakes we made with Cam Newton. Dave Canales, what a game that you drew up on a couple of these plays. I love the play design and concepts. Situational play calling seems to be getting better. There's some here and there that I'm like, Clock management was a little, but it ended up working out in our favor outside of the fumble and the defense. But, actually, you need to be a lot more aggressive in short yardage situations, fourth down and things like that. Go for it. Don't rely on Gonzalez. But whatever. That's going to be it for this video. My camera's about to die, so no long intro. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. I do have a draft eval dropping. So if you watch this video, watch that one, because that's the bread and butter of this channel. It's not just the Panthers channel. But yeah, this is going to be it. It's been a real ball watcher. Put up your binoculars. I'm out.